Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bronx Urban Farm Tour. We're gonna have a great time. I'm gonna be, y'all always wanted to do this. Testing 1, 2, testing 1. My name is Grandmaster Melly Mel, and I'm gonna be your tour guide for the first 2 stops. Until we get to the Bronx, we are in the middle of scenic downtown New York, Times Square. This is where it all happens. The ball drops right over on the other avenue, straight down. It's all right here. And I grew up down here. This is where I wrote my verse of the message. I wrote it when I was hanging out right down here.
My car, don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head.
And I would just like to say, as far as agriculture and nutrition, we would like to say right now that may or may not necessarily have nothing to do with hip hop, but being that I am 50 years old and hip hop is a lifestyle thing, it's all relevant because of the simple fact everybody wants to have a long and productive life, and so do I. Now this is something that I found out that I did not know, that the Bronx is the most unhealthiest borough in New York. But we're gonna change all that because, like I said, everybody is entitled to a long and productive life. And that's what I want for me, and that's what I want for everybody.
We're here at La Finca del Sur Urban Farm at 138th Street in Grand Concourse, and they have a lot of activities going on. So we really wanted to highlight these community gardens and urban farms of the Bronx that are such special and unique places. There's a lot of food being grown, there are chickens roaming, there are bees that are being raised, honey that's being harvested. So there's a lot going on. It's really exciting this summer that people are welcome to come by and check them out anytime.
My job as a health educator is to bring awareness about physical activity and lifestyle choices to people here in the South Bronx. And that's kind of Montefiore's mission as well. We work with the community relations department at Montefiore, and so just to bring outreach to the community and introduce them to different ways of doing things than buying things at the grocery store.
We got the subway down below, Metro North up above, the digging to the left, and it's hot to death, and there is no doubt we're gonna shout it out. La Finca del Sur is the farm of the South. All right. To make you the best you that you could possibly be. That's what the Bronx Initiative is all about. That's what the Bronx Strong campaign is all about. And that's what life is all about. Never let it be a point in life to where you could look back, and if you would be an older person and you would say to yourself, you know, I wish I could have did so-and-so. Especially if it was something that you could have easily done.
I wish there were more. I really do. I think it's unfortunate there's not more gardens. I guess it's hard when you already have a built-up urban environment, but I think not just, I guess, empty areas, but I think people need to look at gardening like on rooftops and other green space wherever available. And I think this is a whole thing has to start to get more people in the gardening by people seeing the community gardens, but we really need more.
Nothing but positive things can come from farming in the Bronx. This country was built on laborers and farmers, and I think it would be wonderful to be able to go back to the tradition of sustainable living and more communal living, and people being more a part of a community project that, ultimately will bear fruit, figuratively and literally.
So on we go to the second leg of the Urban Farm Tour. South Bronx Urban Farm Tour. Everybody's having a good time. Somebody say yeah. Yeah. If everybody's having a good time, somebody say oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hi, my name is Karen Washington. I'm an urban farmer, and you're here in the Garden of Happiness. And I tell people that because every time they enter this place, they feel happy. The Garden of Happiness was started back in 1988. It was one of 15,000 vacant lots that was out through New York City. So people got together, came in, took away the trash, and made this a garden oasis. At first it started out being beautification. Now we're actually growing food to feed our family. So the Garden of Happiness, like many other gardens and urban farms, have become the mainstay of community. That's why they call it community garden, because it brings communities of different ethnicities together. So when the garden first started back in 1988, the majority of people were people that lived in the neighborhood, Southern blacks and Puerto Ricans. As they move on, the next wave were Dominicans. And now we have a busting scene of people of Mexican. So the garden reflects the ethnicity and culture. We also have chickens. Yes, we have at least 19 chickens in the Garden of Happiness. We can't have roosters, but we can have chickens. We have over 137 community gardens and urban farms. I tell everybody, go out, get involved, get your hands dirty. This is your place. Learn about what's growing out in your neighborhood. Get in touch with nature. And remember, a tomato is not grown in a supermarket, but is grown right here in our gardens.
My name is Ned. I've been in New York for about 9 years. I'm originally from the West Coast and grew up in Idaho and have a lot of farming friends. And when I moved to New York, it was a little bit of a fright for me, and I thought, how am I going to survive in a town where there's not much gardening going on? At least that's what I thought when I first moved here, and it's been a pleasant surprise to find all sorts of community gardens, and I'm interested in social change as well. So to me, community gardens do two great things. They bring fresh food to people, and they also bring communities together.
We are here today to walk around with a tourist bus to show them what we do in Criollo. We're here to show them what we plant. We also sing, Bon Plenazo, Guido, Bandeletas.
Today's been we've seen a couple of really nice community gardens, and these are actually I'm a teacher, and so June Singh is one of my students, and she's interested in farming, and so we connected today to kind of explore what's possible in the city. So yeah, they've all been really different. It's kind of interesting how they're all distinct, very distinct places where people have carved out some goodness in the urban setting. So we walked away with a few tomatoes, chewing on a plum as we speak, and it's been a nice afternoon.